Hey guys, it's Hypelast here with another Duel of Champions replay. This time I'm going to be playing Morgan. My opponent is on Yukiko. Now, I've been really enjoying this Morgan deck. It's a bit of just a Haven stacks deck. See, I've got the Griffin Crossbowmen, Griffin Legionnaires. I'm also playing Barracks, and I'm playing Garrisons, so all of that stacky goodness. The Barracks is going to be making a 1/1/1 stackable soldier token whenever I play a human, and most of the deck is human. Now, a neat interaction that we might be seeing later is when I play one of my human stacks on top of another stack, I actually make a soldier from the barracks, and you'll be able to see that card in the deck list linked in the description. That just means that I can play these humans one on top of the other, make massive stacks later on in the game. My opponent, playing Yukiko, is going to be doing basically just regular Sanctuary stuff. You can see he's got some board control cards, that water and air magic, making a very potent combination of removal. And he's got a couple Coral Priestesses already. He's going to be moving my stuff around, and unfortunately I've let him gain control of this third row here, so he's going to be able to move my stuff into that row and pick it off. Now, as you can kind of see already happening, this Griffin Legionnaire is a 2/4/8. It's only 2 stacks big. That goes up to 4, and on top of that, whenever I play a Griffin Legionnaire, I get to search my deck for another one, so I always have all 4 as soon as I have the first one. Now, unfortunately, I did start with 2 of them in my hand, so I'm not going to be able to search all 3 out of the deck. Not quite as much card advantage as it could have been, but they're still pretty darn good. Now, unfortunately, he's going to be pulling some of my things into this third row here, and just dealing a lot of damage to it. It's going to be really difficult for me to get this row back. Looks like he's going to be playing another Coral Priestess. He's going to pull this Crusader Watchman in, and probably just get rid of all of its attack. So it isn't going to be doing much on my future turns. Unfortunately, this deck is a little bit light on the removal. I think I should probably put in a couple of those light damage spells that are really good, but I do manage to get a really nice geyser off there, get some damage onto these, and I'm going to bring this Griffin Legionnaire down and just block off this row. Hopefully, he won't die on the next turn, though now that we can see his hand, we see that will likely not be the case. I was really hoping that I'd be able to get some damage off on this and start trying to take back this third row before he just dominates the game with it. You can see here a Griffin Crossbowman comes down. I'm going to start getting some stacks on that. Hopefully I'll be able to draw a Garrison before I go through all of my stacks. These 2 are the only stacking creatures I have. And the Garrison, for those of you who do not know, you play a stackable creature on the Garrison for the first time each turn, you get an additional stack on that creature right away. So really fantastic. That means that this goes straight up to a 2/6, this goes straight up to a 2/4/8, and basically they're just really hard to get through. Now that applies even if you're stacking on top of it. So if I had a Garrison, I could move my Legionnaire onto it, play another Legionnaire on top, and he would go up to a 4/8/16. That is massive stacks, and that is some of the most powerful stuff that you can do in this game at this point. These stacks get out of control. If you want to see some really big ones, Saria and Inferno decks are also able to do them quite well. As you can see here, I finally get that Wanazame off the board. I do use an Ice Spikes to do it. Not the best, but this Griffin Legionnaire is hopefully going to be blocking off this row. Maybe I'm going to force him to use some of the removal in his hand to get rid of that. I'm just kind of trying to keep this Crusader Watchman alive. I do have a healer in my hand, though he dies at this point, so I thought maybe I'd be able to get some use out of him at some point. My opponent here, GG Glux, does use some of his removal, takes out my Griffin Legionnaire, which is a huge shame. That was a pretty large creature, and I was looking at making him even larger, and pushes through for some more damage. So he's got quite a lead. He's up 4 health points on me, and he's got pretty good board control right now. This Yokujin has actually been on the board since the 3rd turn, I believe. That was the first creature that he played. So anyways, I just play the Griffin Legionnaire. You can see he does go straight up to a 2/4/8 because I played him on this Garrison. Fantastic card if you're playing stacks. And I'm getting these human soldiers. I do have a Barracks out now. Fortunately, 2/2/2 isn't going to do much against his shooter. He's just going to kill it. But, I mean, it's something. Jump blocks every single turn if I need it to. So, that's fantastic. Now, my opponent is kind of running out of gas. He's got a lot of burn, so he's probably going to be able to keep what he has on his board alive for a long time, but his only other creature is this fox. So, if I can deal with what he has on the board, then he might not be able to pressure me. Now, I didn't know that in the game, so I was kind of just playing around as much as I could, but seeing this here, if I can deal with this, then I might actually have the game. So I get a second barracks, which is absolutely fantastic. This third row has been a problem for me the entire game, mostly because of this Yokujin. Now, I do draw a blinding light, which gives me a lot of security. If he plays a Raya or something, I'll be able to just blinding light it and stop it from doing too much damage to my board. However, this isn't the mass removal that I need for the board right now. I'm kind of resorting to just chump blocking with my soldiers and whatnot. I do get a crossbowman out, I do get this legionnaire. Again, he goes straight up to a 248 because of the garrison. Absolutely fantastic. I was thinking, how is he going to deal with the third 248 on this row? But unfortunately, my opponent does actually have the things to deal with it. He draws his fourth Coral Priestess. This card is annoying, guys. Like, you have no idea. This is one of the reasons why I love playing Sanctuary, is just to play all of these Coral Priestesses. You move your opponent's stuff around. In any kind of position like this, where the board control is kind of unclear, everyone's got a lot of stuff out, Coral Priestesses can just swing combat in your favor so much. As you can see here, he kind of just clears out pretty much everything I have, leaving me with just this Legionnaire and my crossbowman on the board. Unfortunately, I have gone through all my Griffin Legionnaires, so I can't move it back onto the garrison and bring it up. It's huge. However, I have a lot of other things I can do in my hand. So, at this point, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I do draw this Anael. This is going to be fantastic for closing out the game as soon as I can get some board control, which I start doing right now. And if I just play a couple of these humans, I'm going to get lots of human soldiers. Hopefully be able to pressure this White Fox out. My Griffin Legionnaire comes back down, blocks off this row. His guys are now in danger of dying. We have another archer that I can put here. Griffin crossbowmen that I can put here and start picking off these lower health guys, though already this priestess is in a lot of danger, and my opponent is starting to draw dead. His removal is starting to run out. Unfortunately, he kills off that Legionnaire with his last lightning bolt in his hand there. Unfortunately, my Griffin Legionnaires didn't actually do anything this game. They just died every time they tried to do something. So sad, but that's kind of what Sanctuary does. So he kind of gets board control back. Unfortunately, at this point, he has to waste resources to kill off my soldier tokens, and I'm just going to be getting those back every single turn. These barracks just dominate the board if you get a couple of them out. I still have a ton of stuff that I can play. I could potentially play 4 more humans, and I even draw a 5th, and just get 5 soldiers here. Now, I do Geyser most of his board away, get down a second crossbowman, clear out his board, and play an Anael. And with him only having 2 cards in his hand, that does seal it up. He throws in the towel, and I managed to get that. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you really enjoyed watching the power of barracks in action there, and that garrison as well. Haven Stacks is a very real deck. You can check out the deck in the description. I've got the replay link there, and I hope you enjoyed. See you guys later.